Surprise!
In today's video, we are going to go over 3 FUT Freeze investments that you can make ahead of the promo to probably make you guys a ton of coins. Now guys, keep in mind these are investments, which means you guys could be holding them for a little bit longer of a period. However, I don't think you guys will be holding these cards for more than a month, and I do think that some of these investments can really make you a ton of coins. If you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up, and if you guys are enjoying the daily FIFA 22 market videos, make sure to subscribe, or else this guy will haunt you in your sleep. Alright, let's head into our first big investment, and well guys, it's not very original. It's good old fodder, of course. It's time to buy them though. They are really cheap. We didn't get another SBC yesterday, which means these cards are starting to come down quite a bit. Now 83s I think are still pretty cheap. However, I would kind of bid on them. Anything under 1K I think is really a big dub. However, you guys want to be buying for good leagues, good nations, and stuff like that. I think with FUT Freeze, with Freeze, of course, you guys are going to be seeing daily player SBCs, plus icon swaps, plus prime icons. Plus, I do think we're going to get some kind of holiday promo as well between, Boxing Day, Christmas, and New Year's. So I do think that there's going to be a ton out that is going to push fodder up a ton. And, I don't think the supply will really catch up with it. So guys, 1K or under I think is the best bet. You guys can buy during rewards, maybe during lightning rounds on Friday with FUT Freeze, but I do think that fodder is really a good shout and an investment that's going to make you a ton of coins. And the same goes with these 84s. I think any of the guys in the good league, good nations, I think Luka Dean's a really good example of one because he's got the French links, he's a left back, and he's from Everton. So he's got all those links, like 3.5K. I think that's a really good buy. And I'm going to recommend just all the top rated fodder as well. These cards are really cheap, guys. 87 sitting at 17K is really cheap as well. Of course, you guys know, pick up the defenders, pick up the guys in the good leagues, good nations, Aguero, Pogba, Ruben Diaz, Andy Robertson. You can even pick up Trent maybe at 20K. That might be a little bit too expensive. I'd probably go 18K. But these high rated fodders will do very well. And it kind of comes down to what you guys want to do. Like I said, I think all fodder is really going to be pushing upwards in the month of December. Now, if you guys want to go and buy 1,083s, you guys can go ahead and do that. For me, I like the higher rated fodder just because it's easier for me to move around in the transfer list. If I don't want to be on a sign, I don't have to. I really can't be bothered to buy thousands and thousands of them. But it's kind of down to personal preference, of course. So, whatever works for you. And like I said, I think we're going to see a lot of icon SBCs and icon content over the next month with the player SBCs. So I kind of am pushing towards just the high rated fodder a little bit more. But like I said, the 83s, they're very low. So all it takes is a very small movement, 1K to 2K, and bang, you double your coins right there. Where with the higher rated fodder, it's a little bit harder to do so, but it is what it is. So I want to go ahead and actually take a look at just a couple cards from last year just to see how they kind of did during this December period. And you'll see that a lot of them moved very well. So we have Laporte's card here in the December period. And what you guys are going to see is during FUT Freeze when it came out on here, you do see that supply does kind of take this card down for a tiny bit. But just the weekend after, you see this huge push in a lot of the high rated fodder. Laporte goes up about 6, 7, 8K or so. And this is what happens for a lot of these cards in this later December period. Now, I'm not saying you guys have to buy at this very minute. I still think that you guys could probably purchase on the Friday during lightning rounds or something. And you can see here the investments were really lowest on the Wednesday or Thursday prior, which is why I'm kind of recommending it now. But for all you know, you guys could pick up some good deals. But again, we see this fodder kind of shoot up. And we see this kind of happen for the whole month. Now, if we go and take a look at a smaller rated card like Kieran Trippier from last year, he did have an 83 rated card. You'll see the same kind of trend. Now you have to keep in mind the market was much different last year. 83s were not sitting as low as they are right now compared to last year. So Trippier last year, of course, was an 83 rated. And you'll see in December, his card was absolutely insane in the fluctuations. He's a really interesting card to trade with. We saw this kind of rise here for Team of the Group stage. During FUT Freeze, he only continued to rise up the 83s. Before he came back down, and then he went right back up. So a lot of kind of fluctuation on the 83s. I think we're going to see that same kind of thing. However, I think it's going to be more of an upwards trend. I mean, you could see 83s maxed at like 3.5K, and they basically bottomed at 2K, meaning that there was obviously much more demand for these cards back then. And I do think EA, just with the content we're kind of seeing recently, we're going to be seeing a lot of SBC content And of course, those FUT Freeze players, we get an SBC every single day for a player. And this year, EA have confirmed that it's going to be a versus kind of SBC freeze thing. So you can do a player pick SBC, which we know has been popular with Nkunku, Inaki Williams last year, and some other cards. So you're going to be seeing potentially daily player SBCs with player picks and stuff like that. And the first one's Pulisic, which is a really good SBC. I just think that there's going to be so much content and so many different cards coming out that fodder's just bound to go up. Now finally, I just wanted to look at one card that wasn't like a high rated but wasn't also a low rated, and Jordan Henderson was kind of in the middle. And I just kind of want to show you guys what happened to his card. It was very similar to Laporte's card. Team of the group stage kind of came out, the cards kind of dropped, and this is the point we're at right now. But once FUT Freeze really hit, the weekend after the Friday where it started, we saw fodder just absolutely explode. Hendo goes up just about to 29K on Xbox from literally 18. So that's a 10K rise on a high rated card. It's why, for me guys, I just think it's a smart move to hold, pick up, buy during the lightning rounds and stuff coming in. Because again, we've seen a lot of metas are kind of coming down during this period, and fodder's really only going up. And if you guys really want to take a deeper dive backwards, we can go to FIFA. We could kind of go to FIFA 20 here. But we can see Hendo's card as well during FIFA 20, where we got we had Footmiss, of course, which is much different. But we also had like these Team of the Year nominees. But you'll see 83s did the same thing. There's a spike in fodder in this December period. It's just bound to happen with the SBCs that come out. So guys, for me, fodder is a must buy. 83s, 84s, just please buy them in good leagues, good nations. So defenders in the top 5 leagues with the top nations, especially like France, England, those SBC kind of requirements that we always tend to get. All right, so moving on to investment number 2. This one's going to be a little bit more riskier, and I'm just going to put it out there, guys. This is very risky, but there is some kind of investments that you guys can make on some of these top tier icon cards, specifically the base ones, because we obviously know prime icons will be coming on Friday. If not, it'll be very soon. And what happens is that these base cards end up going out of packs, and historically we've seen the base cards tend to do very well. And in kind of the run up to this kind of FUT Freeze, Footmiss period, we do see the cards kind of slope down. So obviously Ronaldinho, he sits, we've seen him hit as low as under 1.1 mil, and I still think that we could hit that in the coming days with primes coming out once we get a loading screen kind of drop. But what always tends to happen to these cards, they always end up kind of going back up after the primes come out. And that's just due to the fact that they go out of packs, there's no more supply of them, and people realize the primes are ridiculously expensive. The mids are just constantly losing value. So let's take a look and see what happens to Ronaldinho's price here. And as I said, this is very risky, of course, but during this kind of period, so the promo came out on the 11th last year, and what you'll see happen is at the end of the weekend, he hits about a 1.39 range on PS, or 1.37. What ends up happening is he hits this huge fluctuation into the next week's Friday. And it's kind of our first week we see where these icon cards are kind of out of packs or whatever. And I think you guys can hit that flip this time around too. I think those base icons are going to do very well. But as I said, it's very risky because, of course, you need to obviously find bigger dips. What's going to happen on Fridays, you'll see with lightning rounds and stuff, or you'll see over the weekend, these cards will see a lot of panic. And usually what happens to icons is they do dip down during the promo period. So when you guys see some panic selling on these icons, I think you guys will have this kind of window where you can buy these icons for a lot cheaper than whatever the daily average will display. Like I'm sure on this Friday last year, you were able to pick up that Ronaldinho base card for close to 1.3 on PS, only for him to rebound insanely onto the obviously next couple days. So for me, I think it's actually a good buy to pick up some of these meta base cards, just because, guys, those primes are going to be ridiculously expensive on all the top tier cards. They always are. Take a look at Ronaldinho last year, his prime icon. You'll see the card was absolutely insanely priced. Obviously, he should be priced that high because he's ridiculously good. This Ronaldinho was set at 10 mil. And by the time he did come down about a month later, he was still 5 mil, which is expensive and no one can afford him, even as a left winger. Now, I do kind of feel obligated to show you guys what happened in FIFA 20. Now, keep in mind, he was included in icon swaps. And obviously, it was very different with icon swaps because we had all the different icons that you could get. And the icon market was very different. But this is what happened to Ronaldinho in FIFA 20, and he only declined. He only had a rebound really during the foot miss time. But of course, we had foot miss. We didn't have freeze. We had a way different version of icon swap, so it's kind of hard to tell if this could happen. Like I said, I think it's gonna follow kind of the trend of last year. And you'll see on all the base cards, they kind of do this, whether it's Ballack, whether it's Ronaldinho, whether it's Eusebio, all the cards kind of move the same. Now guys, it is risky, so please be very, very careful when you guys are doing it. Now let's turn the tables back to fodder, but this time we're going to talk about inform fodder and kind of just the need for it, because again, we're going to be getting a ton of player SBCs. And I think it's a really, really smart idea to start stocking up on a lot of these higher rated cards. Specifically the 85s for me. I think first off, this card right here, Laborde here, I don't know if this is actually right. There's no way this price is right for Xbox. 13K. If this is true, which it doesn't look like, it's about 16, 15K. I still think at 16, 15K, these are really good buys. I think the 85s are kind of a must invest. Even the 86s at 20K if possible, like Felipe and stuff. The reason why I say this is we get a ton of player SBCs during freeze, and I can guarantee you, even we just go ahead onto the game right now, I can guarantee you that every single one is going to require some kind of inform or team of the week card for them, which means people are going to be buying these cards up a lot, and we're going to see a really good selection. Guys, I'm so serious. Pulisic with potentially 5-star skills or 5-star weak foot, people are going to do that SBC, whether you hate America or not. People are going to do that SBC because he's a very good Chelsea player, a very popular kind of Chelsea player among that club, who's going to get selected. And right here you can see, guys, they're pushing the informs. This is the Bundesliga Player of the Month that came out, or that... Wrong. God, my brain is just gone. This is the Team of the Group Stage card that came out, and as you guys can see, this guy, he got 3 required inform cards for his SBC. So EA are really going to be pushing out, trying to push up that fodder. I think they're going to continue to do it. Even right here with Galeno, you'll see Team of the Week player required. So, guys, informs are going to do very, very well, and I think all of them are good buys. Of course, good leagues, good nations. I really do like the 84s. I'm hesitant to shout them out because they really haven't risen much yet this game. But, guys, I just think that it's bound to happen. But you'll see a lot of the Team of the Week requirements, they kind of max out at the 85-ish range. So I think 85s are probably my favorite to pick up, but again, 86s won't hurt either because 85s will push the 86s up, and potentially even the 84s. I think anything between this 84 to 86 range is a really good shout, guys. Good leagues, good nations, of course. If you guys want a deep dive into what's going to happen in the market for the icons and stuff with prime icons, check out this video here, and right under it, you guys can check out my full FUT Freeze team that got leaked like days ago, as well as just some market investments and stuff for that as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.